Hello, church. Welcome to Midweek. I want to tell you about a retreat that we had 2 weekends ago. It was our annual prayer and service retreat with our middle schoolers, and it was an incredible opportunity to see students engage in prayer and service. So on Friday night, we gathered all the middle schoolers together. We had about 45 of them up here, and we were in the balcony where we spent intentional time in prayer. There were 2 sessions, and there were 4 different aspects of prayer that we focused on. Talking to God, talking with God, listening to God, and then simply being with God. After each one of the sessions, the students got to break off into small groups and individually and just spend time in prayer. The first time they just spent time talking to God, giving their requests and just talking to Him about who He is, and then talking with God as well, really opening up their hearts and sharing their hearts with God in gratitude, in lament, in petition, in intercession. And then the second part of the prayer time was listening to God and being with God. And this is a part of prayer that we often don't do. It's to simply to sit and to not say anything. And then to challenge our middle school students, even our leaders, to sit and try to listen to that quiet voice, that gentle whisper of God's voice and what He's trying to tell us in our life was a beautiful thing to witness, to get to talk to students about what they heard, what they experienced from God, what God was nudging them to do in their life was just a beautiful time of intentional prayer on Friday. And then on Saturday, we went over to North Block. Now the second part of our retreat was sacrificial service, and we got to come over to North Block, part of our property that we don't usually use. And the thing that I loved about this part of the weekend was that students really understood what it meant to serve sacrificially, where they aren't getting anything out of it for themselves. And I actually used something that Tyler's been doing with his young adult group and different older community groups, specifically the Becomers class when they do Becomers bingo. And I love that multi-generational piece. We are a multi-generational church where we've got nursery to 90-year-olds all in one place, all serving and worshiping the same God. And I wanted to take that piece and make it middle schoolers and young adults. And so what we did, we partnered with the young adults. We came over here and we served Saturday morning into the early afternoon to make this property beautiful. But with that, the thing that I love to see is to see how you had young adults and 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds painting together, to tearing down walls together, to digging drainage ditches and pressure washing and getting dirt covering their face and just laughing and enjoying serving together. I think that was just a beautiful thing to see middle school students wrestle with what it means to sacrificially serve in the morning in their Devo times, but instantly getting to put it into practice alongside a different generation than what they usually get to be around in our church. And then Tyler had his perspective, kind of what he saw at the weekend as well.
Yeah, I was floored that 45 junior hires would pay to come to a retreat where they were serving someone else, specifically a building that they're not going to be in for many years, if at all. And all throughout this room, there's so much evidence of people loving the young adult generation that don't go here. The sound system was bought by someone else. The TVs were bought by someone else. The room was painted by other generations. So the entire weekend was just a weekend of generosity and service, and it just touched my heart. I know the young adults love it. The ones that weren't able to be there that weekend showed up on Sunday and were floored by the transformation in this building. So it was a great weekend.
Yeah, and even talking to my leaders to see how some of them are part of your group, but they're also part of our group, and having them be that bridge between junior hires and young adults is something that I don't think we take advantage of and to use it enough, but seeing the smiles on people's faces, people dumping water when it was free time and just messing around and just playing and laughing together was a beautiful part of that weekend. Welcome back to the Sanctuary Church. This weekend is Easter weekend. On Friday, we've got our Good Friday service, which is just an amazing time to reflect on the power and the significance of Jesus' death on the cross. And so you can join us Friday evening, 7 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. And then we have our Easter services, the time where we get to sing Hosanna and praise that our Savior is alive, that He is risen. You can come to 4 different services: Saturday night, 6 p.m., Sunday morning, 8 a.m., Sunday morning, 9:30, and then Sunday morning at 11. Invite a friend, invite a coworker, invite a neighbor. We would love to see you all here as we celebrate the resurrection of our Savior.